Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill-Staxx, and today I got Frank Dimatteo. Right? Dimatteo?
That's it, man.
Yeah. So, you were close with the Gallo family, and I want to talk about when Joey got killed.
Okay, yeah, I was good. That's when I was there.
So, yeah, what do you remember from back then?
Well, we were waiting for Joey to get out for a long time. And then finally Joey got out in 1971. And we were all just, really, really happy in a lot of ways to see him after 10 years. Stuff like he left when I was young.
Yeah.
And then, I'm a teenager when he gets back. So we were all happy. The rest of the crew was happy. A lot of guys were very close with Joey. Joey was very well liked. We were closer to Larry because Larry was in the streets and he was the boss. But Larry had the mystique about him. But Joey had the mystique about him. So, it was interesting when he came back. I told a story in the book. It was the day he came back on the block. I was with Gumbadil, which is Anthony DeLuca, another young guy from the block. And he pulls up in front of the club. And he cuts out of the car with a few guys. His first time on the block, coming out of jail.
Yeah.
And calls me over. I come over and go, "Hey, Joey, how are you?" And he goes, "You're Ricky's son, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Do not forget that you'll always have a home on this block, this club." He says, "I don't give a fuck about anything." He goes, "Don't forget this, your home." And I said, "Well, thanks, Joey." And I turned around, walked back to the Anthony. And he told me, "Well," turns around, he goes, and he threw me his keys. And he goes, "And by the way, wash the car." and me and Gumbo watched the caddy. It was an old caddy.
How old were you?
When Joey got back, I want to be about 16. I think about 16 when Joey got back home.
Just old enough to drive his caddy, right?
That caddy around, man. That's it. I was driving a couple of years already, but we polished that car up, and he was in the club for a few hours, and on the way back out, and a few words, asked what we're doing, everybody's treating us good, who we're staying with down there, and we told him we were hanging out with Roy Musico, because that's good. He was like the mentor for the young guys.
Was there a lot of people getting killed around that time?
Not yet. No, not yet. That was just before. That's just when Joey came home. It was pretty quiet. When Joey came home, he started it all up again. So, but prior to that, it was pretty quiet. The Gallos was part of the Colombo family at the time. They're just a crew of the Colombos at the time. So, yeah, everything was quiet. Albert was kicking up to Joe Colombo, so it was pretty quiet. We always earning what they had to earn. It would have been better if a lot of these guys that were close to Larry and Joey, if they were with the Colombo family, different crews, because they earned big money. We were always limited because of being a renegade crew, almost a renegade crew, that you didn't get all the good benefits. But a lot of guys stood. It was quiet. But when Joey came home, it all changed.
Did he start it up right away?
I think the first week. I think the meeting was that week when Colombo sends a couple guys down to greet Joey, and Joey told him to go fuck themselves from day one. He wanted Joey. Colombo sent some money down, saying hello. It was some bullshit money. Joey threw it back at the guys who came down. I don't remember who came down. I think it was Rocco. Wacky came down, and another guy. I don't know who it was at the
tried to give him an envelope.
I gave Joey an envelope. I was going to throw it back at him, still to stick up his ass. And that Joey wanted, pretty much he wanted the bookmaking back and the Shylocking back and sections of Brooklyn that he says that it was taken away from him while he was in jail. And that's what he wanted. And he wanted a big envelope. And Joey, they left. They pretty much left. They went back to Colombo. Colombo didn't send a message down for a while. And then Joey just turned around and said, "Fuck them, we're going to go to war with them."
Because Joey was working for them for a long time, working for Colombo.
Well,
no,
Joey was in jail when Colombo took over. Joey Gallo got pinched and got convicted right when they made the first peace agreement.
What did he get busted for?
Extortion in 1963. Went to court, and he lost the trial, and he got 10 years. So, and it was in the middle of the war with the first Colombo. It was the first Gallo-Pafacci war. There was no Colombos then. Colombo didn't exist. And while Joey's family went to war before all this other stuff with Joe Pafacci.
Yeah.
Then what happens is that Joey Gallo gets pinched and gets convicted to a 10-year bid, and he goes away. As he goes away, within that year, Joe Pafacci dies, and his underboss took over. Magliato, I think his name was. He took over. He died, and they wound up giving it to Joe Colombo. Gallo came to give it to Joe Colombo to be boss of the Pafacci family. Joey never okayed that.
Joey wanted it.
Well, Joe, yeah, he says he wasn't. He said Joe Colombo didn't deserve it. He wasn't aligned for it, and he didn't accept him as a boss. But he was in the camp. But he's in jail, Joey, so he can't do nothing about it. So while Joey was in jail for the 10 years, he never recognized Joe Colombo as a boss. So when he got out, his first argument was, why they accept him as a boss. And then at the time, Larry already died in '68. He was actually the boss of the Gallo crew.
This was Joey's brother.
Larry, the oldest brother, was actually the boss of the crew. It was Larry Gallo. When Larry
What
died,
about Papa Gallo?
Well, Papa Gallo was there. He was advisor to his sons. I mean, but
he probably told them things to do also, right?
Of course, he always advised them what to do, what not to do, to calm down, not calm down. Papa, had a Shylock book and bookmaking, so he did his own thing. But he was always there to advise his sons, But when Larry died, Albert took over, which is the youngest brother, because Joey's in jail for some 68. So Larry died in 68. So 68 to 71, Albert had to run the crew. So Albert ran the crew. So when Joey came home, he took the reins again. And they went back and forth, Albert and Joey, of why, what position we're in, our strengths, what we owned and didn't own. And when Joe Colombo sent the guys down to see Joe Gallo, he pretty much told him, fuck you, and get him out. And got out. So that pretty much started the second war, which is was Gallo-Pafacci, and then became the Gallo-Colombo War in 1971. So 1971, when Joey got out of jail, he pretty much laid low and wasn't bothering with Joe Colombo. So there was a lot of fiction going back and forth. There was guys coming trying to straighten out, especially guys from the Genovese crew, who was very close to both sides. Guys like Funzual and Chin, those guys try to come down and straighten it out. So telling Joey that he should, right, there's
Chin.
Yeah, there was Chin. So they were telling Joey, because Albert was getting very close with Chin.
When was this one taken?
Got to be 58.
Oh, this is before. This is way before.
Oh yeah, that's that's the McCullen Commission, when they went in front of the feds for that hearing, and I think it was 58.
Were they mad? Were they mad about that? Him going?
No, everybody went. Every wise guy was called up in front of the McCullen. I mean, what's his name? Costello. Everyone was called in front of that. So you just had to be. It was subpoenaed. You got subpoenaed for that, so you had to go. But Joey at that time just told everybody that to start locking down, because he's gonna go to war again. Joey was
did he get a bunch of weapons and all that?
They started. In fact, what they did was they started barricading the President Street already, because they owned about 4, 5, 6 buildings across the street from each other, and they were all clubs, social clubs, and little restaurants, longshoreman restaurants. So they started locking them down. start barbed wiring on the windows, bringing mattresses in, bringing food into the apartments, and calling the guys in to start hanging out on the block. And then
so they were ready. They had like a fortress.
Bringing guns,
Yeah.
in, hiding guns where they could possibly hide. Don't think we have the law now.
Did Joey always carry a gun when he would after he got out? Carry a gun?
Joey never.
No,
Joey never carried a gun after he got out. No, he was. I think he had. He owed them like 5 years parole, so he couldn't have a gun on him at all. But other guys had it.
Would he have people with him? Right?
Sure, he always had a bodyguard. Either it was Pete the Greek Dinopoulos or it was Bobby Bongiovanni, Bobby Darrow, which is my godfather. Those two were his bodyguards. Either both of them or one or the other. But Joey just turned around and he started preparing to go to war. And then in like history shows in 1971, Joe Colombo gets shot at the Italian American convention, and then all hell broke loose.
So do you think that Joe had something to do with that? Do you think he sent the guy there to kill him?
Okay, my opinion, right? Well, this is opinion because I'm always stuck. I can't say nothing. I'm always fucking stuck here because of many reasons. My feelings at the time was that no, because I thought we would be aware of it, and not walk around the streets like an asshole. You know what I mean?
I mean, because you were around Joe, right?
Right there, right. So I would assume that we would hear something. I don't remember hearing anything.
Didn't he have a lot of dealings with African Americans though?
No, we always had dealings with them. We used to go into all the black neighborhoods and pick up numbers. So before Joey went to jail, that thing with Joey in jail meeting blacks.
Yeah. So did he have any association with the shooter?
Well, listen, this is how it goes. My opinion was that no, we didn't do it because we would have got warned. But that's not necessarily true. As you grow and get older, you realize other things. My opinion was that. My opinion was after that, that it was staged by Cambino and the Colombo crew to get rid of him. I thought it was either Abbey or it was Scapa and those guys. They had to get rid of him because Carlo was really upset with Joey Colombo, really upset with him. So I started thinking more and more that it was. You
think it was Scappy in them?
Yeah. I thought it was.
Scappy's right here. This is Scappy.
Yeah. No, that's Scappy. Yeah, it was Scappy probably had to do with it, but I think it was more like.
What about Carmine? Carmine was around then?
Carmine and it was whoever was in charge of it, Carmine, those guys. I think because Carlos didn't. Yes. Carlo Cambino was really, really upset with Joe Colombo. So, and he was the boss, and really he was, the big shot there, and I was believing that it was inside. Yeah, that was inside job.
Have you met Carmine before? Have you ever met Carmine?
When I was young, yeah, I met Carmine. Yeah, I met the whole the Colombo crew.
So
young.
How much after Joe got out of jail did Joe Colombo get shot?
Couple months. So
man.
Like I said, I didn't think it was us.
Didn't they tell you not to go to that?
Yeah,
rally.
They told us not to go to the rally because Joey Gallo was feuding with Joe Colombo, and he didn't want to promote the Italian American League. In fact, Joey started a little one himself. Joey Gallo. He started
his own.
Right? Italians of American descent. That he started his own one, and he told everybody not to go to the first one or the second one. So, and then a good friend of mine reminded me many years later about an incident on Pleasant Street. And when he told me that incident, then I remembered something, and then the whole thing changed again. But that's the one I can't talk about because then it involved me in a murder, and I can't. That's what I can't talk about. But like I said, a good friend reminded me of an incident, and now I can say that very much possible that it was set up by Joey. Yeah, by Joe.
Is there any incidents that you remember with Joe Gallo that you have never talked about that you could talk about with me?
No. Joey was when he came home. You don't forget when he went to jail the first time. I was young. We were close with Larry Gallo, his brother. That's who we were close with because Larry was in the street, the boss.
Is there any incidents with Larry that happened with Larry that you haven't talked about?
Well, no.
I want some good stuff, man.
Nothing that's not on record that no one knows. Anything I know personally will implicate me in it. So there's nothing I can say that I can't turn around and say, yeah, I went and drove Larry while he went kill somebody. I can't say that. So
no, I'm not saying to say that.
But no, I know that. I'm saying so I can't say something like that. But
no, like any incidents you've seen them overreact on something, smack some guy around or something.
Yeah, I seen Larry crack a guy in a place we used to hang out on Coney Island Avenue and Cotillo Road called the Coco Poodle. I mean, they were in there drinking one night, late afternoon, and he was a car salesman from down the block. Got a little antsy with Larry, and Larry just opened him up, broke his face out open. You know what I mean?
Why was he on edge kind of guy?
No, he wasn't. He was very
no nonsense.
Guy. Very calm. No nonsense.
No nonsense. Right?
But he was a very laid back guy, well spoken, clear. No cursing. He didn't talk none of that shit. He was a well spoken guy. But the guy, got on his nerves, and I guess he had to take him out. He took him out with a left and right hook. He opened his face up. I saw stuff like that. I mean,
whatever happened with Larry? How did he end up getting
he
killed?
Died of cancer. 1968. Died of cancer. Yeah. It was.
That's him on the right, right?
Yeah, it's him coming out of the hospital after he got strangled in 1962, I think it was. He got strangled at the Sahara Bar. That's they're picking him up out of the hospital.
Wow. So do you remember when that happened?
No, I was young when that happened.
Or
I'm young when that happened.
Wow, that sounds like a crazy story.
I know everybody's running around and speaking about it, but I'm a young kid. I'm very young.
Yeah.
Maybe I was about 6 years old. I mean, you hear the scuttlebutt going on, but who the fuck knows what's going on? I mean,
did these guys drink back then?
Yeah, they were very. Larry used to drink scotch. Joey was a scotch drinker. My father's a scotch drinker. I think we all drink scotch. I think everybody. Yeah. I don't know anybody else. In fact, I don't know anybody drink anything else. I think everybody was a Dewey's drinker at the time.
Would they be drinking alcohol and get all out of control at times?
Everybody got a little excited when they drink. Everybody got excited when they drink. I don't think it made them tougher at all. I just made them sometimes a little not thinking straight and a little more lackadaisical. But these guys were all tough guys. I mean, they didn't. But then they drank and smoked pot. I mean, Bobby Bongiovanni, Roy, all those guys, all big Louis the Singer, all big hashish and pot smokers.
Yeah.
So it would go up and down. I mean, one was a stimulant, one was a downer. So,
what was it like the mood when after Joe got shot? Colombo, when Joe Colombo got shot.
Well, we pretty much knew everybody was in trouble because they knew they were going to blame Joey right away, and exactly what they did. So they would blame Joey, and then they started shooting. The guys started shooting each other. And then everybody had to lay up, hit the mattresses on President Street, and all the guys were just trying to lay up on each other, and guys were looking.
Were you ever around when the shooting happened?
I was shot at, but I didn't do no shooting during that. I was shot at, but.
Can you explain the situation?
Yeah, I was. I think it was Louis the Syrian. Actually, he was the consigliere with the Gallo crew. Turned around and told want us to get pizzas at the Queen's Pizza on Court Street. They ordered 15 pies. So me and Gumbaril younger guys had to go get them. So I just bought a car off of Smokey. It was one of the guys, crew members, of 65 Caddy convertible. Anyway, they sent us out to go get the pizzas, and we got off the block and we got onto Van Blunt Street. Also, the car got lit up with 10, 12 shots, and I hit a Johnny pump, and me and Gumbadale, they kept on going, and me and Gumbadale got out of the car because when I hit a Johnny pump, I blasted the front of the car, and it couldn't run no more. It was overheating. So we ran back to the block. We didn't get hurt, and we didn't get hurt. We didn't get hit, thank God. And there was a big argument over that in the first place, that they shouldn't have went over after the young guys like us. That was a no-no. I mean,
yeah,
we weren't, the full member guys. We were the young guys coming up,
So the Gallo crew had like ranking, just like the Colombos, right?
Well, you can't forget that they are part of the Colombo family. They're just a crew.
Yeah.
But they didn't act like a crew. They acted like an own family. You know what I mean? So in the crew, yes, in the crew you had Caslier, you had you had Joe.
The underboss.
There wasn't an underboss there because it was only going to only be a boss in the crew. But it had its ranking just like anything else. But no underboss like that, because the boss is the boss, and there was no, and there's a Caslier was somebody who's who helps with everything. But Joey, after Joe Colombo got killed, Joey had us all meet in the club on President Street, and he made every one of us. But because he was very nutty. Joey was nutty, and he made the whole crew. And he said that we're all button guys now, and we laughed and drank all night. Probably a bottle of scotch each, and laughed and joked. Because Joey was serious, but we knew that that doesn't work that way, So
yeah,
a joke amongst ourselves is that a crew of 40 guys, and we were all made, and we used to fuck with each other and say, "You can't talk to us, you can't talk to me," like that. So
yeah,
that was a joke, but he was serious. He was really serious. So. But he does stuff like that. Joey was crazy like that. Joey.
What was he into? Was he into doing robberies, or how would he make money?
We were big into shylocking and bookmaking. That was a main and moving pot and hashish. That was a big money maker for us. And bookmaking and long shotting was big. I mean, any other score you get. I mean,
was it extortion a lot, or
not after he got home? No, it was pretty low when he was because he just they were watching like eagles. Don't forget, we had a law on the block, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In fact, when I met my wife, the first time she come to meet me after I met her in the street, she had to come to a police barricade to come meet me. It was pretty nerve-wracking at the time. For her anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When she came into the Warriors Club, and she had to meet all the characters, cast the characters. Now you got guys, you got midgets on the block. You got
what was up with the little person that was in the crew?
Yeah, Mondo was born, on the block. His cousin is Frankie Iliano, Punchy Iliano. So he was born on the block. He was him and his mother and father had a restaurant on the block, and he would take numbers and sports, and that's what he did. But he was very, very close with Joey. So, which Joey used to take him around, joking around now and then. But Mondo mostly did sports betting and numbers, very big in numbers. That was his thing. In fact, when he was used to pick up numbers, he used to put it in. He had a shepherd, big shepherd. The shepherd was bigger than him, and he used to put the numbers in the collar of the shepherd. So if anybody would bother him, they wouldn't bother the door.
What was the thing about the lion?
Yeah, the lion was. They had a lion on the block for about 6 months. Joey and Larry. First, they had a monkey. I told a story about the monkey. Joey had a friend in New York, that is this exotic pet store. So for a joke, he sent a monkey down to Larry and Joey on Pleasant Street, but the monkey would shit and throw the shit around.
Who sent it?
It was a I can't think of his name right now, but the guy had a friend of the Gallows who had a store, a pet store in Manhattan, exotic pet store.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. It's in the book.
Here-
I wrote it in the book. I just can't think of it right now. Anyway, he sent it down, and
He got a lion too. He had a lion.
That was second. What he did was
The monkey first,
and the monkey kept on throwing shit at everybody. So Joey wanted to shoot the monkey, and Larry would argue with him not to shoot the monkey, that you just give it back. So Joey said, if they don't bring that monkey back soon, I'm going to kill it. So they wound up calling the guy down, and the guy picked it up. About a week or two later, he called. I can't think of his name right now. He called up. He said he got a lion cub. So Larry and Joey took a ride to the city, and they actually picked it up, put it in the car, and drove back to Brooklyn with it.
How big was it?
It was small at the time.
A little small?
It was small at the time. You know, it was like a huge. It was big. It wasn't a little small, kind of like a cat. It was a nice size, and they gave it to Armando the midget, and Armando took care of it in his club. And I got a picture of it in the book. Can you see this?
Here's Mondo.
See this?
Yeah.
See the book?
Let me see.
Can you see it?
There's Mondo.
Yeah. With the cub when we first got it.
Oh man, I could pull that one up.
Yeah, it's just the first book.
Yeah.
This is the book.
Yeah.
This is the first book I wrote that started this whole bullshit. And and I got the picture of that. That's Armando with the thing. So,
here's Mondo and Joe.
Yeah. Yes, Mondo and Joe. We're very close.
10 years of absence on the streets of Sandy Hook. Mondo. So what's that say? Gang sponsored my birthday celebration. So he was always around doing things. Mondo.
Mondo ran the Longshoreman restaurant, and took all the numbers. So he was always around. I mean, he was even on conversations when things had to be, talked about. He was privy to it because he was very close to Joe, and he was Punchy's what do you call it? Punchy's cousin.
Yeah.
So he was very close, and Joey really liked him. I mean, everyone liked him. We all loved Mondo. Mondo was like.
Whatever happened to Mondo?
Mondo got old and died. He outlived, his life expectancy. He did a lot more than that, but he did die.
Yeah.
He died on my. Excuse me. I'm trying to find a. Bear with me a second, man.
All right.
Bear with me a second. Well,
I can edit whatever. Do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I'm losing the battery. Give me a second. I'm trying to just hook it up. Hold on. There we go. No, hold on.
That's funny. The monkey used to throw the shit on people.
Yeah. And Joey wanted to kill it. Yeah, Joey wanted to kill it. It was fucking funny as hell.
I bet you a lot of crews didn't have monkeys and lions and shit.
No, it was not unheard of, man. Unheard of. We just we were so out there, as far as doing crazy shit. Joey did crazy shit. The whole crew was nuts. You had a whole crew. You had Irish guys, you had Spanish guys, Puerto Rican guys, you had Syrians, you had Jew guy with us. We had Staley the Hat. It was, it was really a mixture of fucking crazy people. Greek.
Yeah.
We had a Greek with us, so it was crazy. It was crazy. But after like I said, when Joey came back home, then it shit the fan, and then then guys started getting killed, and friends started getting killed, and it got a little nasty. I stood on the block on President Street for like 6-8 months. We weren't allowed off the block, and then within a year, then Joey got killed.
Here's the
it's cover. Yeah, it's the first book I wrote. Yeah. That autobiography I wrote. It's it's all in there.
Where can people get that if they want to buy it?
mobcandymag.com. You go to mobcandymag.com, and it's there. I sign them. If anyone wants them signed, that's what I do. It's my autobiography, man. So it tells it all. You know, got 132 pictures in there. It's a pretty good book. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I wrote it the way I speak, so it's a good read. You know, so
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
you can tell it wasn't written by you know a writer, which is cool. You know, it's good.
My book's gonna be like that too.
Yeah, you know, it's funny
Gonna be
about it
different.
because I wrote it, self-published it, and that's how I got involved with publishing. You know, getting published is because they found a publishing company found it and liked it so much that they came to me, offered me a 4-book deal, and republished Line in the Basement because they couldn't put it out the way I did it with the way I speak and like that. So, and they renamed the book Treasure Street Boys.
Yeah.
So, and that's
And
how
it did really good, right? That book did really good.
But yeah, it still sells well. I mean, Line in the Basement sells well, and Treasure Street Boys sell well. I mean, everything I pretty much put my hands on sells pretty good. You know what I mean? But anyway, what happened then is with Joey is that after Joey gets killed, you know, my godfather. Funny story because my godfather was one of the bodyguards that night, and he wind up in the night.
What was his name? What was your
Bobby Darrow? Bobby Bongiovanni, Bobby Darrow. So what happens is that they had the Copa drinking and partying, and it was time to go home. And Bobby met some girl there, and Joey tells him to, you know, go leave with her. I don't need you, because Peter Grease taking us home. So Bobby leaves and goes with the broad, and Pete goes to take Joey home. Joey gets hungry again. They try to go for Chinese food. That we used to go to a place on Mott Street. They were closed. They're driving out of there, and Peter Greek.
Is this him? This him?
The guy in the middle is Lenny Dell. Lenny Dello. He's not. Yeah, he used to be. There's Larry and Joey, and that guy right behind him is Lenny Dell.
Yeah.
He's another guy who used to be with us for years. He left. He wound up leaving too. He went back with the Colombos. And a lot of guys went back and forth. They were with us, and then they went back to the Colombos, and then we were arguing each other. But
yeah, because they wanted to get their hand in the pot.
Yeah, well,
both sides.
You know, they were, you know, the Colombos had more access. The guys were making more money. You know, you can't even get mad at these guys, man. They're hoodlums. You know, they're very loyal. They were loyal to Larry. Larry died. They were loyal to Joey. They waited for Joey to die. And then they pretty much moved on and said that this ain't fucking working over here. We're going to go earn some big money. And Larry and Joey weren't here no more. And
how much after Joey got out of jail did he get killed?
Within that year.
Man, so it was pretty quick.
Everything happened for him. Colombo got shot in a couple of months, and then the next year they hit Joey, and they killed Joey Gallo on Mulberry Street. Yeah, it all happened fast.
So you remember that around that time that was happening? Like, what was the situation when you heard about Joe being shot and everything?
Well, we got the call early. We got the call early in the morning, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. We got a call because my father got the call. Saying that Joey got shot, and we had to run. We all ran down to President Street. You know what I mean? It was really gloomy. I mean, Joey was well liked. You know, crazy as he was well liked, especially young guys. We liked him, and the older guys were very close with Joe. You know, so yeah, it was gloomy. I mean, it's like hey, listen, it's like a family member getting killed. You know, it wasn't just. You know, we were very close. I mean, I don't know about being with other crews as close as we are. We were very, very close. These guys were, Joey was like, Larry was like gods to the young guys. You know what I mean? They were the bosses. You know what I mean?
Were they looking for the people that did it?
They went out. Yeah, everybody went out to try to find. First, you have to find out why, who. You know what I mean? You got to put your feelers out, and the feelers went out, and then it came back to the Colombos right away. You know what I mean? Because, like I tell you about it, the guys who did it within a week or two, one and flipped to, ran to the feds and gave himself up. So, because he was afraid he was going to get whacked from Sonny Pinto and those guys. So anyway, then we pretty much knew where it came from, and then everybody went looking for who they had. There was shooters, what's his name, Punchy and Louis the Serious sent guys out to go look for these guys. Whoever they can find on that was with the Colombos, and they were just guys that started shooting at each other. A couple of guys got killed. A lot of guys got shot at or got shot and lived through it. And until they made peace, until peace had to be made. The guys in New York stepped down, Carlo Cambino's crew and Chin's crew. They came down and they wanted it stopped because it was guys were shooting each other left and right.
How many people were left in Joe's crew after he got killed?
Oh, well,
or did it all break apart?
No, it stood for a year. We stood together for another year. Some guys, like I said, some guys stood with Albert, which is the youngest brother, and some guys went back with the Colombos because they went with just a different crew in the same family. They didn't leave the family; they just left from one crew to another. We stood together about a year. We stood together 4 years after that happened, but within the next year, another argument broke out and another shooting, and a lot of guys got killed again. But that was internal. In 1973, we had another war. Some guys didn't want to be with Albert, and my father was asked to take over to be a skipper of that crew, Ricky, and he wouldn't take it because he said that it was a Gallo crew, and it was a Gallo brother left, which is Albert. He said it's Albert's crew, and he didn't take it. Funzual came down and Chin came down to the club on Summer Street, and we had a big meeting there. Right after that meeting, about 10 guys broke away from the Gallo crew, and then we went to war again, and that's when a lot of bad things happened. Then that's a lot of close friends of mine got either shot, killed, or went missing or something like that. So that was pretty much that went from late 73 to 76. That was a bad time. We were locked down a lot. It was hard to earn some money.
Was it a lot of people going to different families? How would they get placed to different families?
Well, don't forget the 10 guys that left us went back to a same family, different crew. Because don't forget, everybody's a Colombo. So on the Colombo family, so they just left Joey's the Gallo crew and went back with somebody in another crew in the Colombo family.
Do you know of anybody going over to the Gambinos or anything like that?
Later on, yes, we had a couple. We had Bobby Borrello went with Bobby was with us for many years. When he came out of jail, he actually got released to John Gotti. He got released and wound up with John Gotti. We had another guy who went with the Genovese family, Preston Geritano. He wound up with the Genovese. Well, we wound up with Genovese in 1976 or 75. They dissolved the Gallo crew, and they pulled them away from the Colombo crew altogether, and they went with Chin.
Chin.
So by 1976, by 76 there was no more Gallo crew. That was it.
How was the Chin when you were around Chin? How was he as a person?
We saw him personally. He was very close to my father. So, they're always nice to me. I'm Ricky's son, so I had no problem with nobody. They were always good to me. Were they strict? Yeah. Were they serious guys? Yeah. But I never had a problem with these guys, especially we're very close. My father was very close with them. In fact, Chin, until 5 years before he passed away, he sent a case of Tattinger to my mother every Christmas. Tattinger champagne, Even after my father passed away, they were still sending champagne to my mother once a year. We were very close.
Was the Chin? So that was a real big act that he was playing for the FBI.
Chin was excellent at what he did, but I always said that it was half the act because he was fucking nuts. You can't be not nuts and pull off that. You know what I mean? It was a half a show.
Yeah.
Because he nuts. You don't fool three psychiatrists on their end.
Was he, when he would get pissed off about other people, would he get really mad? Like,
Yeah, Chin was dangerous. He was really mad. Yeah, he was he didn't joke around and like that. I mean, he had rules and regulations. You broke it, you fucked. He was a really strict guy when it came up to his family and
do you
anybody.
know of any situations you could tell me about?
Well, I know. I don't know names. I remember, but I remember a couple of guys around him that were dealing junk. You're not allowed to deal junk, and they wound up getting killed because they broke the rule. You know what I mean? They didn't even get caught by the law number. He just found out, and he had them both killed. I mean, he had another guy almost got killed. Somebody stepped up for him and saved his life because he said his name Chin to somebody. You're supposed to make it. You're supposed to make
Oh,
the.
so they did kill him for that?
Well, what happened is that he had an uncle that was in 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 the family, and he went and begged Chin to save his life. And Chin at first didn't want to, so they sent the guys to kill him, but they couldn't find the kid because the uncle hit him real good. And while they went down and tried to, speak to Chin about saving his son, Chin gave in and said it was just a mistake. He didn't mean it. He was a younger guy.
So he was gonna have someone killed because he didn't do this.
Because he said his name, yeah.
Wow.
And someone heard it and went back to him. And they said, "What is something bad?" No, he was using my name. He goes, "I didn't mind if he went like this." He goes, "But he used my name." And yeah, he wouldn't kill him for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so he was strict on the rules and regulations. I mean, he didn't speak to anybody, like only his close, people that was around that he trusted. In the very, very beginning, before the really crazy act went in, we used to see him now and then during the feast in St. Gennaro. Like I said, my father was very close with him. And that goes into the story why after we wound up getting released from the Genovese family, because we were selling junk at one time and we got caught.
Oh man.
Yeah, and
were you afraid that he was going to have you killed or no?
Well, yeah, it was a touch and go in the beginning. What happened was Albert, smart guy, called my father and me to New York, and my father said, "Oh, we in trouble." I said, "Okay, well, we're in trouble. What are we gonna do? This is what we do." And my father went in and had a meeting with Albert, and what happened, I think, was pretty much that Jim was pissed off, and we were could have got whacked. And what happened was Albert turned around and said that convinced Chin, really brilliant guy, I tell you the truth, Albert was, convinced Chin that we're not with them. Albert convinced Chin that even though we're around them, we're not around them. We were blessed because Albert had my father with him all the time as a bodyguard and like that. So he convinced Chin
did your dad carry a gun all the time too?
We always stash somewhere, yeah. On your body, you can't have it. We always stashed in the car, or we had the bars, we had restaurants. They were stashed all over the place. You don't carry it on your body, unless you're going to do something. Have it somewhere. But anyway, what happened was Blair turned around and convinced Chin that we weren't with them, that Ricky was independent, and he had no right to be mad or want to kill him over what he did personally, because he didn't reflect on him. So Chin turned around and said, "You're right." He goes, "But he can't come around no more." And that's why we got released from Blast and wound up in New Jersey with Anthony Batanta. That's how the story keeps on going from one to another to the other. But then after that, I think it was a year or two, about 2 years.
So after you're with the Chin and you go to New Jersey, things calm down, or no?
Well, everything's calm at this point in this stage. No one was feuding no more. Chin pretty much after a year. Albert called Ricky back. He wanted him back to take him around, and Bless is okay. No, Chin had no problem with it because it had nothing to do with him. It didn't reflect on him. You know what I mean? And he was well liked by Chin. Ricky was well liked by Chin. So even though Ricky wound up going with the Jersey crew, while we were here, he always used to stay with Albert. You know, he always drive Albert around, and we used to go to his restaurant on weekends. We stood close to friends, even though they were two different families now and two different, places. But everybody stood friends because you can do that, if you're, if you're not
Yeah.
really
If you're
with
not
somebody
with
or
it, yeah. If you're only an associate, then
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
do whatever you want, basically.
then you do anything you want. You can really move around better. Like I said, my father got proposed twice, and he refused it twice because he didn't believe that he should, be locked down to nobody. You know what I mean? As close as he was with anybody, he didn't believe. Well, he Buttons anyway. It didn't, impress him at all. He really didn't care about that, and he thought if he did say yeah, he would really be locked down and don't forget we're in the drug business. So
Yeah.
you can't.
And then you got to kick up. You got to kick up and everything.
Up
So it's a lot. Like
it's unless you're egotistical and you need this thing. If you're earning already and you're well respected already, it's not but a headache.
Yeah.
Because you can earn just as much without it. You know what I mean? Or you can be well respected without it. You know what I mean? There's many guys in the street that are not made that that wise guys move away, across the street from, because they're bad motherfuckers. You know what I mean? If you know this world, you would know that. So
yeah.
he knew that he had enough friends, made enough money, and he didn't need that thing. That's why Tony Bender and the Genovese family was the first one that offered to him in the '60s, early '60s, and then the second time he refused it was with the Semi Plumbers crew in New Jersey. That's the second time he refused it.
I mean, you do get benefits from being made, but I don't think they're worth it.
You get, I mean, yes, I mean, it's benefits, but if you're doing well and you're well respected and you're earning, what do you need it for? It's more of a headache than anything else. Maybe years ago, it was a lot more, it was prestigious, and it was,
When they had the shoremen, the docks and everything, it was probably like really good.
Yes. But the last 20, 30 years, it became more of a headache. I mean, once you get straightened out, especially with the RICO Act. RICO Act and getting made, even if you weren't part of that, you're part of that. So it's been bad having that, after RICO. But I can't talk for other guys. Other guys, they strive for what they wanted, or that's what they want to do.
Has law enforcement ever harassed you?
Oh yeah, I've been arrested 11 times. I mean, I've been pulled in for other people's bullshits and for questioning and stuff like that. But I was lucky. I beat everything so far. I beat drug pinches. I beat gun pinches. I beat all little bullshit stuff too. I was just a very lucky guy. You know what I mean? I don't know if I was any smarter. I think because my father was always Machiavelli and one step ahead, one step behind. And we never went too big for our bridges. We always checkmated what we were doing. Most of the times we got pinched was because someone else got hurt. Someone else got bagged. I mean, no one ever begged us because they were on.
And they wrap you in their trouble.
Somebody gets pinched for something. We got to go. You got Ricky. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Okay, and they set something up. So that's what happens. That's usually how a lot of those pinches went down. Yes, we did something wrong, of course. But that's how we got caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We made a lot of money, and we didn't give much of it back to them. Thank God. So, Thank God. But it was a good ride, and it was all good until it's all good until it goes bad. We were lucky because when at the end, which is 1999, when a couple of us got proposed to be made, and what happens every December, everybody gets arrested. Everyone gets arrested. And that went down the drain. That was it. The whole family, that Jersey crew with Vinny Oceans, and half the guys were rats.
Yeah.
Who became rats, and we wound up walking away because the whole Brooklyn crew dissolved real fast. Our skipper, who at the time was Anthony Rotunda, he wound up in jail a year, and he found out the boss of the family flipped. He flipped. And then two other guys that did a lot of heavy work, and they flipped. We didn't know the Jersey guys too well. The old timers in Jersey. They never called us.
Yeah.
And plus, everybody was worrying about who's ratting on each other. They went into hiding. They wouldn't call us down and say, "Oh, what are you doing?" What are you doing? They even know
they're
us.
trying to wrap you up into their bullshit.
No, because they were afraid that who's going to be rats, who's under investigation.
Yeah.
Like they say, Ricky. We know Ricky. Ricky's a good guy. Who's going to call him in? He's with Anthony. Anthony's just flipped. What does he know? What is nah? We don't want him here. We don't know him that well to come question him or bring him over here. You might be bringing heat with you. You might bring who knows what kind of garbage is waiting behind our back. Following us. So we walked away. Made a phone call. Said you need us to come in. Nah, it's all right. No, it's all right. I turned around and said, pack up your kids and walls. We're going to Florida. and that's what we did. We turned around. Anthony went to a witness protection program. The other guys we know went into the witness protection program. 2-3 guys who were close. They took the raps and they went to jail. And we walked away, and that was it. And we were finished by that. That was it. My father says, he ain't doing nothing with nobody, not to do nothing with nobody. Because we always had legitimate businesses, too. We were in the distributing business. We were in the construction.
Yeah, so if you would have got made, they would have took all that from you.
That would have been another headache, yes. That would have been another headache. That you would have been, it would have been easy to walk away because it would have been more hands in your pocket. Mm-hmm. We're just lucky, we call it luck. We were lucky, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how that turned out, And then I turned to writing.
Yeah.
You got to do something to make a living after you stop selling junk and gambling.
Well, it got pretty popular. Your writing.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing started the magazine. I made that Mob Candy magazine.
Yeah.
In 2007, because we were really laying low. I wasn't doing nothing for about 2-3 years. Nothing. I wasn't doing nothing, just laying down. And then I met somebody, and that Mob Candy created that. And right after Mob Candy, for those 4, 5, 6 years, that, and then the autobiography book came out, and somebody just said, "Well, why don't you write? I said, I really don't want to write. I don't know what to say. What can I say? Anything. I always say anything juice and hot, I can't talk about because I can still get arrested.
Yeah,
because I've never got arrested for anything that
you can write stories about other people, other people's life.
Yes, I could do fun stories. The book tells fun stories, how crazy these guys are. I tell some privy stuff like, who shot who. They're all dead. Mm-hmm. What we were told, that no one ever heard before, like when our friend Jerry Basciano got killed or Mooney got killed. I could tell those stories, who killed them, because they were all dead. It's hearsay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything, because I was there. A part of that, I'm not a writer that, lives in Wisconsin, that reads things and then writes books about,
Yeah,
I was there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. There's witnesses. I mean, you can go police reports. You can get Fed reports. I bodyguard Albert Gallo for his wedding. When Bobby Borriello got killed, Albert stuck my wife in front of him for when the feds would take a movie cameras across you coming out of the funeral. I mean, it's not make believe. I got pictures of Albert sitting in my house.
Yeah.
you're not low key or nobody's, or you don't know nothing, or make up stories when you're there all the time.
Yeah.
It was a run. It was a great run. And they made the book, but I wasn't crazy about it because I didn't know what to say, without getting in trouble. So, but it came out, I guess making it fun and talking about other people that was around us. It was more off of my shoulders of that I had to say something, oh, I did this, or I did that, or I'm a big shot, or something. I don't say nothing like that in the books. Or I tell the story of I was with great guys. They were the big shots. They were idols to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We drank the stupid shit, had a great time, made a lot of money, did bad things, and survived it. You know what I mean?
And that's why I'm here. I'm like a prime example of that you can do something different instead of running the streets and doing crazy things.
You gotta change and grow up. You gotta things gotta change, man.
Yeah.
Your temperament has to change. My temperament changed. I was a bad drinker. I was a bad, I would take no shit at one point. You got to change, man. Is it worth it, not worth it? But then again, when I was 16, 18, 20, 30, 30, I didn't have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, none of that shit. So I had nothing.
I had a lot of fun back in the day, but
fun was great, but you had nothing else to live for. I mean, now you get in trouble, you got a lot to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot to lose. You got children, grandchildren, you got, your wife, or, those days you're young, you don't give a fuck. Nobody's gonna lose. I don't have it yet. Nothing to lose.
Yeah, so, I reached that age where I gonna chill out.
Right. So you gotta change your mindset, or I don't care how crazy you are or how crazy you think you are. You gotta change. You gotta change. You ain't surviving this world, especially with the technology today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. So, and then you gotta learn that these people, a lot of them are not as good like they were. That this crop of guys are not the same as the crop of guys, where I come from. You know what I mean?
They tell on each other nowadays.
I never heard the word rat when I was a young guy. I never heard. I heard them say that fucking rat, but they didn't mean it as they rat on somebody. Just they was a cocksucker or prick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never heard nobody ratting. I never. There was no such thing. These guys were, when I was around the Gallo crew, those guys were really, really, really loyal to each other. They were very close, very close. It was, sometimes it was. I think back, it was more of their friendship more than making money, because a lot of times it got bad. You know what I mean? And they stood very loyal to Larry and Joe, very loyal, and that goes to show their character, how good guys they were. Because it wasn't all about the money. Yes, they were thieves. Yes, they were hoodlums. Yes, they did bad things. But when the going got tough, a lot of them left. The guys who stood, you could tell their character that they was a really, really friendship.
Stand-up people. They were real stand-up. Yeah.
They didn't stay there for the money. They stood for their loyalty and just what they believed in. I mean, a lot of guys got killed because of that too, because they were on the wrong side of the power struggle. A lot of guys in the Gallo crew got killed because of their loyalty to Joey and to Larry.
The sound went out.
Gotta get it. That's gone.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. I'm going to leave a description of your book and the link. Okay. And
all right.
So make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. And until next time, thank you for coming on my show, man.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, man. And we'll have you on again.
You got it. I'll speak to you later. Give me a call.